Hello, my name is Adrian Cox Settles, and today I'm going to be talking about my book. Can you see it? The clear, can you see it? Can you see it? The clear and concise strategies of how to get your child accepted into college, guidebook for parents. How to get your child accepted into college, guidebook for parents. So I decided to make this book because I have had success getting my sons accepted into college. So I said, well, since I've done it and I know how to do it, let me just give parents a resource so they can do it also. Now, this particular book comes in 7 different colors and it's on Amazon right now. And it's a small book, only like 42 pages, because I wanted it to be clear and concise and straight to the point. So it's not big and you're trying to figure out where do I go next. So you're reading all this and you're getting tired. This is definitely straight to the point. Okay. Straight to the point. Okay. So the colors I have with me now, this is white. And then I have a rose color, like a pink, like pink. No, it's like pink. And then I have a purple color. But like I said, I have this in 7 different colors. Okay. 7 different colors on Amazon. 5 different colors on Etsy. It's a digital download where you can go to Etsy and upload it or download it onto your computer and you can print it out, put the holes in it and put it in a notebook. And I also have it on Lulu where it's like a coil or binder form, okay? Like a spiral form, something like this, okay? So I have it in spiral form in 5 different colors on Lulu. Okay. Now on Amazon, leave 15.99. We're gonna discuss the prices. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you what's inside of my book. Now, let me get started. Let me see which one I want to read. Let's do the pink one. Okay, so I'm gonna go through really quick and tell you what's inside of my book. And so first you have the belong to page, of course. Okay, table of content. Now with the table of content, I will go through it really quick. My backstory. I have that. And after I read the table of content, I'll go back and just give you some of my backstory. So, for the table of content, I have my backstory. I talk about what college is, why college is important, when you should plan for college, where should you go to find information about college, what topics should you discuss with the guidance counselor. I give you a list of resources that you can learn more about colleges. I give you scholarship sites. I give you recommended assessments. I give you educational tools to prepare your child for college. I give you tips before you even start the process. I give I give you, if you're a parent that's struggling financially, I give you advice. And let me skip through. Things you can do daily to help your children. Um, and then how does a person get accepted? What's the acceptance process? Recommended social media, and I give you your child a college readiness checklist for students. Okay, so your child will have a checklist that he or she can go through and check it off and become accountable for the actions. So that's in here, and there's so much more. Okay, now, yeah, there's a lot of resources straight to the point. Like I said, scholarship sites and other resources that take you straight to the point. I have QR codes in here so that you can connect to several resources really quick. So you don't have to be searching the web for this or that and trying to see if something is a scam or it's not. I've done the research for you. Everything in this book, just follow it and it will make your process a lot easier. And this book is more of a mindset thing also. You want to start early with a growth mindset that you want to have so you can implement that into your child if you're talking about going to like a college, whether it's Ivy League or whatever type of college. You want to have a growth mindset. You want to set habits, daily habits, and I speak about that you can include in your child's ring. You can have things, table talk, different things you can implement. And I put things in here you can implement from preschool all the way to high school different habits that you can implement with your child to get them in the mindset of being ready for a college, university, being ready for that, being ready for this process, being ready for those honor and AP classes that they have to take, so they can build up those critical thinking skills, having that conceptual learning, be a conceptual learner so they can pass a SAT or ACT with a high score. Everything from the beginning, everything that you do to implement is going to help build them up to the level where they're a critical thinker and they can get a high score. And if they do get a high score, that's a an easier way to get in college and get that full ride. Okay, it's an easier way to get in college and get that full ride if they implement these small skills now and small routines now, so that later it'll be easier when they go to school, when they take those classes, those organization skills. So it's a certain way, it's a certain mindset. We can do this. You're going to be patient with them, and I have notes in here of how to be that parent, how to be that patient parent, how to talk to your child, what questions you should ask your child on a daily based on their age. I have these things in here, because those things shouldn't be taken lightly. Being a parent is can be a difficult job, but if you do have something that you can follow and you do see, okay, well, I've been asking these type of questions, but this is a yes and no question. I need to ask more open-ended questions so it can be a more quality type of answer. So there's different ways you want them to think, because that's more of a critical thinker. You want them to apply that to those tests into college. College are looking for critical thinking students. And so it's your job, parents, to start this, at whatever age you have. If you say, oh, my child's high school now, you can still start in high school. There's things you can still implement. And there's a list that you can follow to make it a lot easier, because things you have to get together, like those tax reports. You got to get those tax forms together. There's things in here that you have to get together, and I have a list of things like what you need to ask the guidance counselor, because you should be reaching out to the guidance counselor, because the guidance counselor is a great resource, and they're connected to other people with resources, and plus they have a lot of resources under their fingertips. So let me go back here, and I'm going to just read my backstory. And this is how I start my book. I start the book with the backstory. Okay. So here we go. When I grew up in Baltimore City housing projects of Lexington Terrace, which is the hood, my academic foundation was weak except for in math. I was strong in math because my mom made sure that I knew my multiplication tables when I was in the second grade. Later, I would go on to use my intrinsic motivation and strengthen math to aid me and others in achieving a multitude of successes in tutoring, teaching, leading departments, coaching, homeschooling, virtual coaching, and more. I have always told myself if I ever had children, they would have a strong academic foundation and would be advanced in every subject. Therefore, I intentionally did things that allowed this to happen to my three sons who skipped early grades. Currently, I have two of my three sons in college. The baby is in high school. Okay, so that's a little of the backstory. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few more things on the list that I suggest that parents do that my husband and myself have done. Okay, so here's a list of things that my husband and I have incorporated to ensure that my sons were skipped, placed in advanced classes, and got into colleges and got accepted into colleges. Okay. So I'll go through some of it and I'll say some of it for when you purchase the book. I gotta leave something to the imagination. Mm-hmm. Okay. So basically, they all could read by the age of 4. So 3 was the age when they pretty much can read. Some was early 3, some was a little closer to 4, but they could all read by 4. Um, they did math consistently. I love math. My husband loved math. I mean, we just love math. So every way I can implement math, whether it's Cheerios or cutting paper and making fractions and things like that, we implemented math a lot. And, our table talk was a lot about math and fractions and decimals. And, some people would be like, wow, they really nerdy. No, but this was just the interesting things. So, we also took them to the library consistently. My husband was a great component of that. Took the children to the library consistently, so he would come back with all these books. And then my oldest, he was a bookworm, so he walked around literally with a book all the time, reading book to book. And when we would go to Barnes and Nobles and buy him a book, he'd read it one day. I'm like, that's a waste of money. We need to just stay consistent with the library because he just go through books, you know. Um, we also gave them diagnostic tests to ensure that they were always a year ahead every year. They did advanced work over the summer. We checked their homework daily. I helped them to stay organized 'cause I'm a very organized person. The subjects and stuff had to be organized. Make sure there's no trash in your book bag. You know, making sure that they write, print and in cursive, even when they weren't really focused on cursive or cursive wasn't a thing. I found that to me it was important to teach them cursive writing because that's just an extra skill that they can bring to the market. And also I have cursive writing books along with 500 other products, cursive alphabet books. I have so many different educational books. But let me stay focused. Also stayed in communication with the teachers. Okay. So I was a teacher myself through their years of schooling. And when I homeschooled him throughout the years. The rest of them I will homeschool them in the summer. But I will always stay in contact with the teachers. When school starts, send out a, greeting message. Hello, beautiful, hello, wonderful and marvelous teachers. I am such and such, and I want to introduce you. My son will be in your class. If you have any praises, comments, concerns, please contact me. We are very engaged and active parents, and we have high expectations for our son, and so forth. Okay, that's just to sum it up. But I sent a letter like that to all the teachers, and they were like, be so happy. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And, because I started out with, marvelous and great teachers, things like that, butter them up, give them praise because teachers don't really get praises like that. And I'm a teacher myself, at heart, and I've taught for 20 years. So I know that praise feel really good, especially on them days you like, oh my goodness. So the little things really matter a lot when you're a teacher. So butter them up. When teacher appreciation comes, you can go to the Dollar Tree and get your little dollar bags and get your little candy and, whatever you want to put in, the flowers and candy and pencils or whatever you want to put in. And I would do that. I would have bags for this son and bags for this son, bags for this son, especially chocolate. Chocolate was a good thing. I'll put other things. If it's a male, I'll put things. If it's a female. But I really appreciate them, and they really appreciated their gifts because normally they don't get anything. But me being a teacher myself, I have gotten so many gifts over the years. I have been spoiled, especially in private school. Oh my goodness, they gave me so many gifts and food and everything. So well, basically, like I said, keep the communication open with the teachers, advocate for your children. Sometimes the teacher, it depends. If you know your child, you've been the primary teacher, and maybe your child's going through something at the moment, but it's not a permanent thing. You can talk to the teacher and say, well, right now I know his grades are going down. Can he come after for coach class, or I'm gonna put him in tutoring, but if he's going through a rough time, I do not want him to repeat, but I'm going to put in the extra work that's needed. Advocate for him instead of sending him to the previous grade. Because some teachers say, they're going to repeat acts of their summer school, but you need to be checking their grades. Whether it's Power School or whatever the grading system platform is, you need to go to the teacher, learn how to get you call the office, learn how to get into it, ask the secretary, somebody to walk you through it, and you can see the grades. You need to see the grades. You can't go by them. Oh, I'm good, mom. It's good. I'm passing. Passing these days is very low. And if you have high expectation, their passing and your passing may not be the same number. So you need to check and see if it's the passing that you want. And then, like I said, be positive, um, be positive and make sure you have supports in place instead of putting them down and call them or doing whatever you do. Have support in place. So don't just say you're not getting this and you're not getting this and you don't have a tutor for them or you don't have time to help them. You take accountability and do what you need to do. So if the child is falling behind, you can step up and help the child in a patient way. You know, you want to build that relationship because it's going to be a long relationship. Starting in elementary, and you really want to have a tight relationship to when they get to be teenagers because you want to have a good relationship when they get to be teenagers because that's when all the in middle school it starts when emotions start going around and the crying and the back and forth. But when they get to high school, you want to have that relationship because in high school they will need you the most. They need you the most, even though they have these big bodies and you know they tall and the deep voices. They need you the most, and a lot of times they get neglected the most in high school, and parents just miss that. High school is the time where they need you the most. So this process of them getting ready for college is very important. You meeting a guidance counselor, you talking to them about who they need to get recommendations from. You letting them know it's important for them to have a good relationship with their teachers. So when it's time to get the recommendation, the teacher say, "Oh, of course, I'll write a recommendation." Not like, "Oh, maybe you should ask somebody else." You know, some teachers feel that way because some students will come to you and say, "Can you write me a recommendation?" You're like, you know, I want to be honest. So maybe you should probably ask someone else that you have had a great grade with, or you have done some extra work, because you know it's important. We have to be genuine and honest about the recommendation. And so some teachers will be like, "No, I can't do it. You might have to talk to someone else," because they want you to be able to have the opportunity, and they don't want to mess up your opportunity. So go to somebody else. So it's important to build those relationships with those teachers, participate, let the teacher know that you're a star. So when they write that recommendation, it is nice. And that's what colleges look for. They look for recommendations from the teachers and from the guidance counselor. So keep that relationship together. So when it's time for you to tell your child about the recommendations, or if they know, or you need to talk to the guidance counselor, it's a easy transition. It's not like, "Oh, you know, mom, I'm not going to do," you know, it's an easy transition. You want to have that. And so I put some things in here, how you can build up your relationship, which you can say how to be patient and things like that. You know, parents, you have to do your part. You can't blame the kids, okay? They're looking at you, and you just have to be that role model that they need, because they're going to go into this world and they're going to either do what you did or do the opposite of what you did. It's normally those two. They might take some and then leave some also. Also, what we did, we supported them in extracurricular activities, which included sports, which included they were also in different academic things afterwards, like clubs and things, and religious activities. And then they have, of course, Arabic competitions and stuff like that. You know, a lot of different competitions. So, you know, extracurricular is very big. You know, they're going to ask you what type of extracurricular things that you do. So just know that your child has to get into something, you know, whether it's into instrument, being able to play an instrument, being able to be at the school for a debate, doing something religiously, being like a president of like a Christian or Islamic student association. Yeah, different things. Just have your child involved, because extracurriculars are very important. It just shows something outside of, it could be academics, but it shows something different. It's a different light. You know, it's not just pencil and book and paper. You know, when you do debate, it's like, can you really think outside the box, formulate something and put it back? Can you defend yourself? You know, so, and then sports, you know, are you disciplined and you practice? Can you hang in there? You have those skills. It looks so good on paper to be doing those extracurriculums. So we made sure our sons were into a lot, you know. And like I said, encourage competition. We're very competitive, very, very competitive. So we encourage competition, celebrated their achievements, and then we emphasize that the loss is a lesson. You know, so if you didn't win this time, what can you do so next time you can win? Or what did you learn from this that you can incorporate it into something else? You know, what did you learn about yourself? You know, what else do you need to do to improve? Or how should you focus? You know, what needs to be done? You know, there's always a lesson. You know, whether you didn't practice hard enough, whether your heart wasn't into it. You know, you need to find out what the lesson is, so when you come to the next let's say roadblock or whatever, you know what to do, whether you want to go forward with it or that might not really be your thing and you want to take the time to focus on something else. And it's okay to change. You don't always have to stay in the same lane. Sometimes you change it to a different lane and you realize it's smoother than the lane you've been going through, you know. So, you know, the children are finding themselves, and parents, you can see if they're good with building, if they're good with speaking, and allow them to be them and just foster them and facilitate whatever the greatness is. While incorporating, of course, some things that of course you want to incorporate, but it gets to a point where some things that they really love stand out, and y'all have to decide how you are going to do it. And then there's some other things I put in here, but I'll let you read it once you purchase the clear and concise strategies of how to get your child accepted into college guidebook for parents. Um, but like I said, it's a lot of informative, I would say information. There's a lot of good information in here, a lot of resources. Back in the back, you have your note page, and then this is the back of the book. People are excited because they got accepted. You have that computer, you open up that computer, and you see you've been accepted, and that's how you and your family. That's how y'all gonna be jumping. That's how we was with both of our, like I said, 2 out of 3 are in college, and the other one's in high school, and that's how we were jumping up and down. It's an exciting time, and I want that for you. You can have it. Like I said, I came from, I was raised in the projects, and I struggled, but I was able to achieve and able to fill in those gaps and able to go straight ahead. And then I had the goal in mind that my children will have a way stronger foundation than I had, and that they would be able to get into college like that and take those classes and stuff like that. That's the dream that I had. And so I know what needed to be done. You know, I know what needed to be done. And I'm still doing it because I have one more left. So I know what needed to be done. And I want you to be able to, do those things also for your child. And it's not as difficult. You just need to know what to do. And I made it affordable. I made this book very affordable. And like I said, I made it very clear and concise. Like I said, straight to the point. Straight to the point. And I put a lot of resources in here to help you with that admission process and also with parenting in general. You know, you have to have a certain mindset if you're trying to have a child be prepared for college in a smooth way. Um, you have to implement some habits early on. And if you do start later, there's some things that you can implement. But like I said, I have a checklist in here to hold the child accountable. So the checklist you can give to the child, and they know, oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to ask my parents this. Oh, I need to find this. Oh, I need to ask my guidance counselor this. It's in here for you. So I hope this process is easy. I will leave the links below so that you can get this easily. Like I said, on Amazon in paperback, on Lulu and Spyro, and on Etsy in digital download. So that's it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.